Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to try and design a phone stand. So these are some of the ones kids have come up with for different reasons. I'm going to show you how to do this basic one right here. So I'm going to start with creating a new design. And like always, we want to change the file name to your last name and your project. So I'm going to say this is the 12th one. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create all the objects in the work plane and then put them together. So first we're going to go with a box. We're going to make this 51, 70, and then 3 millimeters high. This is going to be the basic square of our phone stand. Then we are going to add a hollow box, and we're going to make this one 35 by 60, and you don't have to mess with the height. Just leave the height how it is. Then we are going to need a box that is, we're going to need this one. We're going to make it 8 by 5 by 10. Now we're going to need 2 of these, so I'm going to duplicate and repeat. Now we got 2. And then finally we need which one do we need? A roof piece, and we are going to make this 8 by 20, and then we're going to make the height on this 21. So there we go. Okay, just making sure. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag the hollow piece into the solid box. Now we want to try and have these 2 boxes flush together, so perfectly lined up, so you can try eyeballing it or use a line, and now we know, we push that dot there, they're lined up perfectly, and then we also want to make sure they are lined up in the center, or else this will not come out right. So make sure you push this dot here, that way these 2 boxes are divided up evenly. With that, we then want to group these 2 together. Okay, so we have the basic outline of the phone stand, or you could use this to hold up your tablet. So next we're going to take these 2 boxes here, we're going to line them up with each edge of the phone stand. So you'll see that mine is not lining up perfectly because it is off on the grid. So there's a few ways to do it. First, I'm going to try and align them. There we go. That worked perfectly. So then, once it's on there, you want to lift it up so it's resting on top of, so this box is resting on top of this object here. Now we're going to group it before we place the other piece on there, just in case it does not line up perfectly, because if we would align it, it would unalign this box with this box. So that's together now. We're going to see, yep, still not lining up right, so we are going to do the same thing. Select both. Remember, you double tap on the screen. Align button. It's going to line them up perfectly. And again, we're going to pull this up, have it rest on top. We'll go ahead, group that again. Okay. So next, we got to put our roof pieces. Need 2 of those here. So we're going to put this in here, and I'm going to have to double check how far back it's supposed to go, because I am blanking on that right now. So give me 1 second. I think it's 15, but we're going to double check. Yeah, 15 from the base. Okay. So we are going to use the ruler, which I showed you on the first day. I think this might be the first time we've actually had to use it. I'm going to click the ruler. I'm going to put it right here on the base of the square here. Now if I tap this part here, it'll flip it around, so it'll just be easier to read. Okay, so if I select the triangle, it's going to tell us how far from this point to this point here we want that to be 15. So we're going to make this 15. It's going to slide it over, and then we pull this up so it's resting on top. Now this phone stand is good enough to hold a phone that is like this. If you have a much thicker case, which some kids do, you can slide it back. Instead of 15, make it 18 or 20, and that should give you enough room. But if the design doesn't work, you can redo it and we can print it again. So finally, we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put this there, and now if we click it again, it'll say, okay, so it's 18 millimeters from here to the base. So we're going to make that 15 again, and then we are going to have it rest on top. Now I'm going to group it all together just so we don't lose anything. Now if you remember from the other designs I showed you, some of them have holes in the triangles or smaller triangles, so there's a bunch of different stuff you can do. I'm going to show you that in a second. A fun thing, you can put your name on it, or favorite sports teams, favorite subject, whatever you want to do. You could give this to your parents, could put their name on it or something. So I'm going to put a text box here, and then I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to shrink it down so it'll fit inside the phone stand. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that there's space on this side and this side of the box. I'm going to make this a teensy bit smaller. There we go. So you can put that in there, and if you make it hollow or whole, I'm going to type in LMS for Lamberton. Okay, I'm going to make that bigger, make sure it's going all the way through, and then group it. And there we have, that's simple enough. Now something to note, let's say we wanted to do, okay, let's say if you wanted to do different letters. Let's say I'm going to put my nephew's name in there. Okay, this will work. So the issue with certain letters, so if we group this together, you're going to see that if we were to print this, the middle of the O is going to pop right off because it's not connected to the rest of the design. You can see it's a gap. So situations like that, you can either not worry about it and just have the O be empty, or you can make a very, very small box. And you can put it through, and then you group that together, and you'll see that now the O is going to be connected so it's not going to fall off. So for E's and other letters, that's pretty handy, or you can just do something else. So that's on there. Now if you want to remove some of this triangle, it'll make it print faster if you want to make something cool. So you could, let's say you could put a cylinder, make this a little bit smaller, lift it up, and then we could stretch it through, then group it together, and there you have it. You have the holes there. Some people put a hole like that through here so it's like a keychain, but if used as a keychain, it's probably going to break. So two more things people like to do. One of them is this. I'm going to put a box here, and we're going to cut off half the triangle pieces. It still is just as effective, but it saves on plastic and time. So there's that. And then, oops, my favorite one, I'm going to have to ungroup a lot of this. Okay, my favorite one to do, oops, I'm going to duplicate and repeat, lift it up, make it hollow, make it just a little bit smaller. That's one of my favorites to do. And then group everything back together. and then you have another neat thing. So that is how you do a phone stand. If you want to try a different design and do it a little differently, you can. Just do your best, and this is probably going to be the hardest one we've done so far. So if there's one little thing that you just can't get right, you can always email me, and I can help you correct it through my Tinkercad, or we can do office hours or something. But do not get stressed over this. And yeah, so that's it for this one. Remember, do the assessment and the discussion, and have a great day.